gaining weight, it's arguably one of the hardest things to do for someone who's been skinny for most of their life. And I would know, this is what I looked like before I ever stepped foot in a gym. Very skinny, very weak. But through sheer determination and a lot of failure along the way, I have managed to gain 40 pounds since I started lifting. And that is exactly what today's video is going to be about. I'm gonna teach you guys every little last thing I did to gain as much weight as possible. So stick around to the end. You're not gonna wanna miss this. Let's get started. Now, my breakfast is cooking, and that brings me to my very first tip, which is tracking your food every single day. Now, contrary to what you might have thought before, gaining weight is actually very simple on paper. The only real thing that lies between you and gaining weight is knowing the exact amount of calories you need to eat every single day. When I first started out in the gym, I would basically just eat until I was too full to keep eating and hope for the best. But that just doesn't work because it's only dictated on your satiation or hunger levels and not actually dictated on what you're really eating. Now, the big question, well, how do I find my calories? Very simple. Look up a maintenance calorie calculator on Google right now. I use calculator.net, but you can use whichever one you want. Just enter in your information and it'll give you a rough estimate of your daily maintenance calories. Now, you've got your number written down on a piece of paper. I want you to add plus 500 to that number. What this is gonna do is take it from a caloric maintenance intake to a caloric surplus intake. This means that your body will be eating in an excess of calories to what it burns on a normal daily basis. So if you keep eating that number every single day for a couple of weeks, even a couple of months, you're gonna start to gain some weight and some serious muscle. So yeah, track your food, it works. Now I got my morning oatmeal here, which I put a ton of delicious seasonings in. Because making your food taste good is important. Like, eating bland food sucks, especially when you're bulking. Guys, make your food taste good. Put some seasoning in your meals. You're not gonna hurt your gains if you just spice up your food a little bit, I promise. Okay, so we finished up our first meal of the day. Getting ready for the gym right now. I'm gonna prep up some of the stuff I like to have before I go for my workout. Extremely underrated pre-workout ritual is getting ridiculously hydrated a good hour before you go to the gym. Electrolytes like sodium or potassium are actually really important for getting a stronger contraction in the muscle when you're doing an exercise. And you can test this out. If you've had a workout where you're dehydrated and you compare that to a workout where your salts are high, your water intake's been high, everything's better. Your pump, your energy, it's just the way to go. Hydration is key. So I'm gonna grab one of these little salt packets. So I'm literally just gonna empty out one of these packets into my water and sip on this. That way when I get to the gym, I'm gonna be super hydrated, gonna be set to go. Now you guys definitely don't need to buy a pre-made sachet like I just used there. Just literally get some table salt in your house. A mineral salt would be better. That way you can get some potassium and magnesium in there as well. And I would just mix that with like 24 ounces or half a liter of water. Sip on that half an hour to an hour before you even get to the gym. Now, the primary reason why I'm doing this is because having really good workouts when you're bulking is extremely important. If you guys are training the right way with a high intensity, you're only gonna have about 4 or 5 really good workouts per week. And so we wanna make sure that we're squeezing every last bit of juice out of the efficiency during those workouts because we wanna maximize our gains. Now, that brings me to my next tip, which is to have a plan before you even get to the gym. Now, by plan, I mean ideally have a program or at least a very rough idea of the exercises, the sets, and the reps that you're going to do when you get there. If you guys just roam into the gym aimlessly without a plan, your workout's gonna suck. You're not really gonna know what you should do. You're kind of just gonna have a low tier workout and it's not gonna make you any really great gains. Now, if you know you're hitting legs for the day, for example, and you know you have to do 5 sets of squats with 225 pounds for 10 reps 5 times, you can get into the headspace to prepare yourself to train legs with that intensity. It allows you to think, okay, my legs need to be ready to go today. Maybe I should foam roll my legs before I go, or maybe I should go for a walk to get the blood flowing in my lower body. Like, as soon as I started being really intentional with my workouts, my gains just skyrocketed. Yo, so it is that time. About to leave for the gym. I'm gonna take you guys through my full workout. But before we go, I gotta get changed. So to start, I think I'm gonna go with these Young LA Carolina blue shorts. They have a 5-inch inseam, so they make your legs look good. And then I've got this sick looking basketball jersey. So this is the fit, looking pretty good. I think we got the jersey, the shorts, all from Young LA, of course. Best gym clothes in the game right now. It's literally all that I wear. Now, I actually make zero money from YouTube or any other social media platform. The main way I'm actually able to do this for my job is when you guys use code Lee at checkout for Young LA or Gorilla Mind. You guys might not have known that, but when you guys use my code, it actually gives me a direct commission. So it is the best way to support my content and support me as a creator. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, so we just got to the gym. I'm gonna take you guys through step by step my upper body workout that I do, especially when I'm bulking. And I'm gonna give you guys a couple pointers to focus on weight gain and actually building quality muscle in your workouts.
Drop the tape recorder, JVC, just to hear the screams. Got my rusty blade, all the same, just to make you bleed. I'm a cop, killer, big thriller. I was made by Frank Miller, black and white, you see the scene. Now I'm spilling red, you see.
Okay, you guys, so you can see that I just put the pin at 12 on the weight for the lat pull down. Last week I was working at 11. Now this week I'm upping the weight one more on the pin so that I can actually apply progressive overload to my lat pull down strength.
All the same, just to make you bleed. I'm a cop, killer, big thriller. I was made by Frank Miller, black and white, you see the scene. Now I'm spilling red, you see. Got strappers up, rock won't stop me from the block. Hit the rock, cannot stop, take it stuck.
Now, if you guys never actually push yourselves and try to get to a heavier weight on all your different movements, you're not really gonna build that much muscle. The main factor that really contributed to the most of my muscle growth was trying to get stronger at the big movements in the gym. Bench, squat, deadlift, even the other compound movements like lat pull downs. If you do the same weight every week for years on end, you're not gonna build new muscle.
Never keep the peace, you bleed my bucket suckers, fucking mothers. I am always down the road, be famous on the news, hanging from.
All right, guys, now I'm moving on to some incline dumbbell bench press. On my upper body days, I like to alternate between a push and a pull exercise. That way you give yourself some time to recover in between sets.
I'm a cop, killer, big thriller. I was made by Frank Miller, black and white, you see the scene. Now I'm spilling red, you see the tape recorder, JVC, just to hear the screams. Got my rusty blade, all the same, just to make you bleed. I'm a cop, killer, big thriller. I was made by Frank Miller, black and white.
So I'm working with the 25 kilogram dumbbells on incline for my working sets. That's not a lot of weight, but weight isn't actually something that's that important to me. What is important is the stress that I'm putting my muscle under. That's what's gonna matter the most. Your body doesn't know how heavy a dumbbell is, so you're not doing yourself any favors if you're cheating the weight, using too heavy of a weight that's gonna actually benefit you. So for your own sake, drop the ego, use a weight you're comfortable with that you can go heavy on, but don't do stuff that's too much. Alright, you guys, so we finished up on the incline dumbbell press. Now I'm gonna move on to a seated cable row. This is gonna get the thickness of our back. We already did pull downs which hit the width, so now we wanna get that thickness to balance everything out. Alright, now the most important factor when you guys are lifting is training close to failure. So you'll see I'm only really doing about 2 to 3 sets for most of the exercises I do, and that is more than enough, I promise you. You guys have probably heard the myth about 4 sets of 12 is good for hypertrophy, all that crap. A lot of that isn't really true. 2 sets, train really close to failure, or to failure, that's pretty much all you need. Alright guys, next up we're gonna do some dips. I'm just gonna do this for my body weight, like 2 or 3 sets to failure. So let's go. All right, you guys, so finish off with dips. I did 2 compound exercises for the upper body, 2 compound exercises for the lower body. And so now I'm just gonna focus on those isolation movements, so those smaller muscle groups, some side delts, some triceps, maybe some biceps, just to finish off the workout. We also have a pretty sick sunset, so that's cool. Okay, you guys, so the workout is complete. If you guys want to know the exact training split that I use, it is a 5-day split. I have a free program for it linked on my Instagram. I'll put my @ right there on the screen. You guys can just go check that out if you're interested. Now, regardless of what training split you guys actually decide to go ahead with, the only thing that really matters is 1, that you're applying progressive overload to all of your exercises, and 2, you're trying to train every muscle in your body about 2 times per week. You can do that with a push-pull leg split. You can do that with an upper-lower repeat split. Really doesn't matter. If you guys really want to get fancy with it, you can even put in your notes app or on like a literal notebook the exact weight and reps you get for every exercise for each week in like a training cycle. And then in the next week, you can program out what weight you have as a goal weight to hit. And you can just try to literally track, almost like a math equation, your progressive overload as you get stronger. But yeah, I'm gonna head home now and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit once I get back to the crib. So we have returned back in the kitchen. Cooking up a post-workout meal right now. Let me show you guys what I got going on. So first off, we got a fan favorite, white rice. And then for protein, of course, we have some ground beef. Now, as I'm getting ready to make this post-workout meal, which I'll show you guys in a little bit, I wanna go over the next big thing I did to gain 40 pounds, and that is eat like a dog. Now, I know that sounds crazy. What I mean by that is if you think about what a dog eats, they always eat the same thing at the same time, pretty much every day of their life. Now, obviously, I don't want you guys watching this video to go and eat kibble and think you're gonna gain a bunch of muscle, but if you're realistic and you bear with me and you just eat the actual real foods for building muscle at the same time in a consistent fashion, the way a dog does, you're gonna get a ton of benefits for muscle growth and bulking. This meal I have right here, beef and rice. I have eaten that meal 2 to 3 times a day, every single day for the last 3 months. So if you do the math on that, you're looking at about 200 meals of beef and rice. Does it get a little bit boring? Yes. Does it come beyond taste because my goals are getting big? Also, yes. If you guys are really serious about gaining that weight, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. All right, you guys, so we have the post-workout meal here. Now, this is one of the best meals that I have used to gain weight. I'm gonna explain it to you guys briefly. So in this bowl, we have 20% ground beef, 200 grams uncooked. Then we have 120 grams of uncooked basmati white rice. I cook the rice and the beef in salt, and then I drizzle hot sauce and honey over the whole thing and just mix it up. as you can see. 1,200 calories, something like 60 grams of protein, and it is absolutely delicious. And like I said, the repetition of eating this meal multiple times a day has really netted me some amazing gains in the gym. You guys definitely don't have to eat the exact way that I eat to see gains. However, I recommend finding a meal or two that works best for you and just sticking with that along your journey. Okay guys, so it is getting somewhat late now. This is going to bring me to the final stage of this video, which is going to focus on recovery, which is super important for gaining weight. Now, even though you guys are doing a lot of the work in the gym and when you're eating, the muscle is being built in your sleep. So if you're not properly recovering from your workouts, you won't actually be able to build that new muscle tissue. So I actually have a sleep routine that I try to practice pretty much every day. First step of that routine involves turning off the lights. Doesn't have to be total darkness, but at least dim the lights around you. Artificial lighting, especially blue light, can really suppress your body's natural production of melatonin, and that is the sleep hormone that actually makes you feel tired. So by blankly staring into a screen hours before you go to bed, existing in a super bright room, it's gonna make you feel less sleepy and basically give you a worse quality night's rest. Now, step 2, sleep supplements. So there are a couple sleep supplements that you guys can take. L-theanine is a great one. Magnesium, which is what I have here, is another good one. I'm not gonna go too in depth on the details of the actual supplementation for sleep, but I highly recommend you guys do your research, invest in some quality supplements. They're gonna benefit your overall sleep quality and basically give you better gains. This is just a high quality magnesium I found online. 4 full droppers is 400 milligrams, so I just do 2 droppers for 200. Tastes really bad, so I just chug it when I actually take it. So third step of my recovery routine is to stop eating about 2 hours before you go to bed. If you can really maximize this, I would say 3 hours, but 2 hours is a really good cutoff point. If you have food in your stomach right before you go to bed, your body's not gonna be able to descend into that kind of sleep mode as it normally should. So try to cut off food as soon as possible in the day. Now you guys can see my bedroom is pretty simplistic beyond just a desk and a bed. I really try not to spend too much time in my room doing anything other than sleeping. I did see on a podcast with a sleep specialist by a guy named Matthew Walker, I believe that's right. He said that your bedroom should really only be a sleeping environment. That way when you actually come back to bed at night, your body is kind of primed and ready in that new environment for sleep. So I don't really have a ton going on in my bedroom other than just the bed. That way it keeps it boring, so I only want to come here when I have to sleep. You guys can also get apps like this one here, Sleep Cycle, I have on my phone. Or if you have an Apple Watch or something, that'll track your sleep. And you can use those to assess the actual quality of the night's rest you got before, and then use that to judge things throughout your next day, like your workout and everything, how hard you're gonna go in the gym. And yeah, every single night I would get into this bed at basically the exact same time, stay in here for literally 9 hours. I did also hear that even if you're in bed for 9 hours, you're only really getting 8 hours of actual sleep time. So, huge part of my bulking success was spending as much time as possible in this bed. So, that is everything that I did to gain 40 pounds and will continue to do to gain more weight on my bulk. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do not forget to smash that thumbs up button. Use code Lee at Young Elaine Gorilla Mind, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.